Hello and welcome. I'm a hotel AI expert, and I'm very pleased to welcome all students of Europe Hotel School to your online learning journey. Have you ever been to a luxury hotel and it just feels like they know exactly what you want almost before you do? Well, that isn't just magic, it's technology. Today we are going to dive deep into what we call the digital black book and explore how AI is completely revolutionizing guest personalization. So here's our plan. First, we'll look at the modern version of the classic concierge's black book. Then, we'll see how AI tackles the messy data problem to create one single profile for each guest. From there, we'll unpack how that profile helps predict what a guest might want, how it leads to service that feels almost psychic, and finally, how all this incredible tech actually empowers, rather than replaces, the human touch. So let's get right into it. All right, so where does all of this really begin? Well, at its core, this whole thing is a story about how guest personalization has evolved. It's a journey from a really cherished, old-school tradition to a powerful digital transformation.
For decades, the gold standard of personalization was that little black book the head concierge kept. It was full of handwritten notes, this guest's favorite wine, that guest's preferred newspaper. While today, that book has gone digital. We call it a Customer Data Platform, or CDP. And it doesn't just remember preferences, it learns, it connects dots, and it predicts things on a massive scale.
Really, the best way to think about a CDP is as the central brain of the entire hotel operation. It plugs into everything: the booking engine, the restaurant's point-of-sale system, the spa, and it pulls all that scattered information into one place. Powerful platforms like Revinate integrate with systems like Oracle Opera Cloud, to build this complete 360-degree view of every single guest.
But as you can imagine, having a brain that just collects everything creates its own big problem. You get a lot of messy, chaotic data. So the question is, how do you turn all that noise into a clear signal? Well, this is where AI performs its first real piece of magic. The biggest issue is that guest information is totally fragmented. Think about it. A guest might use their personal email to book a spa treatment, but then use their work email for the actual room reservation. To a basic system, that looks like two totally different people, and this is exactly how you end up with a fractured, incomplete picture of a single person.
So the solution is a process we call identity resolution. And essentially, what happens is an AI algorithm starts playing detective. It scans all these separate records, and it looks for common clues, a shared phone number, or maybe the same last name and zip code, and it intelligently merges them into one single source of truth, getting rid of all the duplicates. So, you can see right here how it works. The AI identifies all these scattered profiles, right? It recognizes them as pieces of a much bigger puzzle. Then, it merges them together, and the result is one single, unified, and incredibly rich profile for each and every guest. And why is this such a big deal? Because it completely transforms that front desk interaction. The agent isn't just greeting a stranger who's tied to a reservation number anymore. No, they're welcoming back a valued, loyal patron, someone whose preferences, like a gluten allergy or a desire for a high-floor room, are already right there in front of them. Okay, so now all our data is clean and unified. This is where things get really, really interesting. We're now moving from just knowing what a guest has done in the past to actually predicting what they are going to do in the future.
Now, what a human being can't possibly do is analyze tens of thousands of guest histories all at once to find hidden patterns. But in AI, it can do that in a flash. It sifts through all that data and starts grouping guests into these predictive personas, which allows the hotel to anticipate what they're likely to want on their next visit.
Just look at these two examples. A budget-conscious business traveler and a high-spending wellness enthusiast are worlds apart, right? One stays midweek for a short time and barely spends anything beyond the room rate. The other books long stays and invests heavily in the spa and restaurants. So offering a spa package to the business traveler, it's probably a waste of time. Just like a simple room upgrade might not really excite the wellness guest. Knowing the persona means you can make the right offer to the right person. It's all about relevance. And the result is smart, proactive marketing. Instead of just blasting out generic emails, the system can automatically trigger a perfectly timed wellness escape offer right when that specific guest is most likely to be planning their next trip. Now that's powerful. So this predictive power, it's not just for marketing. When you bring that intelligence into the hotel's day-to-day operations, well, that's when you unlock the absolute gold standard of modern hospitality, what we call anticipatory service.
But look, this intelligence is totally useless if it just stays locked away in some marketing database. It has to get to the staff who are on the floor. And that happens through a real-time link between the CDP, the brain, and the hotel's property management system, or PMS, which is really the operational heart of the hotel. This connection is what makes all that data instantly actionable.
Here is a perfect example of how this works in the real world. A guest stays at Hotel A, and they request a specific type of pillow. That preference gets logged in their unified profile. Months later, they book a room at a sister hotel in a completely different city. But before they even check in, the system automatically flags that preference, and housekeeping makes sure the right pillow is already waiting for them in their room.
This is about so much more than just convenience. It's really about emotion. When you remove the friction of a guest having to state their needs over and over again, you create this seamless experience that makes them feel genuinely known, genuinely cared for, like they're truly at home.
Now, it is really easy to hear all of this and think the goal is to just replace people with robots. But the true philosophy here is the absolute opposite. This technology is designed to enhance the human touch, not get rid of it.
And there's a critical benefit here too, ethical data management. Think about it. When a guest's data is scattered across 10 different systems, honoring a privacy request is an operational nightmare. But with a single, unified profile, it becomes simple to manage their preferences and respect a guest's right to be forgotten completely and efficiently.
This brings us to probably the most important rule in this new world. Personalization should never feel like surveillance. The whole point is to be helpful, not creepy. True hospitality feels intuitive and caring, and that is a fine line that technology must always be designed to respect.
So ultimately, AI should function as a silent assistant. It's working in the background, giving your team the insights they need to go above and beyond and to create those unforgettable surprise and delight moments that truly define luxury hospitality. So, as the next generation of hospitality leaders, the power of this new digital black book is going to be in your hands. The real question is, how will you use it to innovate, to connect with your guests, and to redefine the very art of service?